Assalamoalaikum, greetings of peace. I'm Farina Siddiqui, your host for Community Rocker Show for Muslim Canadian Media Network. And I'm really proud, honored to have a special guest in our studio today, Imam Hosam Helal. An Imam which is not our regular Imam. Like all Imams are amazing, professional, but this Imam has very, very unique qualities. A fantastic recitation is his key. And we take pride to have him in our studio today. So let's hear from Imam Hosam Helal, what he does for the community and how we all can benefit, us and our children, with what Imam Hosam Helal offers. Assalamoalaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh, my sister. May Allah bless you and give you Jannat al-Firdaus, ya Rabbi.
Ameen, Sama Ameen. Thank you so much for accepting our invite to the show today.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So, brother, tell me more about what you do in the community. I know you're an Imam and you are one of the favorite teachers for young kids and youth alike. So tell me more about what you do in the community.
May Allah bless you. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. I love the children more than subhanallah, I hope more than they love me, and I ask Allah to keep us sincere, and I ask Allah to keep us always in the best of states, ya Rabb. And the words that you say, they cause me stress, because I hope in the sight of Allah, I can be accepted as such, and it's difficult to be spoken about in this way. So may Allah keep us humbled and keep us sincere, ya Rabb, and allow us to be effective in what we do. Right now, I'm alhamdulillah given the privilege and the humbling honor of serving as the Imam at the St. Catherine's Islamic Society. I'm serving as the chaplain of Brock University and the instructor at Quran Journey, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. May Allah bless you for all this service to the community.
Ameen, ameen.
So when we look at Muslim community, especially to Muslim youth, we see our Imams do have a broader role to play these days.
Mm-hmm.
And we do need young Imams like you, who are born and raised here or studied here or getting the education here, that is catered towards the needs of the Muslim youth or Muslim Canadian youth today.
Right.
So why don't we actually see more structured programs, more engaged programs that are led by young Imams like you? Don't you think we are lacking this kind of a structure in our community?
I think the community is growing. It's going to take some time, but I think alhamdulillah the young people are stepping up, and alhamdulillah with the help of the seniors, right, coming and filling that void. I think the community can be more supportive of these initiatives by making them more sustainable, more continuous, more available through the resources that are being, alhamdulillah, offered and shared. So I think that's one area where a lot of people have great ambitions and great events and great visions for the community, but just the support is not there. So I think one of the things that we can, inshallah, do is just help connect people, and people who have the resources with people who have the ideas to make them happen, inshallah. And that was one of the main reasons, alhamdulillah, behind the launch of Quran Journey. And it is a great initiative, which is, alhamdulillah, it's developing slowly, but I see there's great potential in it, inshallah.
Mm-hmm. So tell us more about Quran Journey and what it offers to our community.
Right. So the story of Quran Journey starts with basically a few people coming into the masjid, and they say, what, we want to learn the Quran. We have it memorized, but we don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't understand it. And so it hit me at that time that, when it comes to understanding the context of the Quran, personally speaking, I've had the opportunity to memorize the Quran at 8 years of age, but it took me a very long time to actually start asking when, where, how is this ayah revealed, who is it speaking about, what's the context of the revelation, right?
Mm-hmm.
How was the community at the time? How was it received by the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ? Because these are just, they're words, and if you just memorize them, they're words in your mind. But when you understand them, when you attach a picture and imagine the situation, you're able to live the ayat of the Quran. So the point of Quran Journey was to basically combine the study of the seerah with the study of the Quran, the linguistic aspect of the Quran, the contextual aspect of the Quran, and to basically take the Quran from the day that it's revealed, from Surah Al-Alaq, and study it day by day as the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is basically developing through the seerah and the companions develop. So Islamic history, aqidah, the Quran, the seerah all together combined into one, and the notes are available, the videos are available, the audio is available, so it makes it more accessible via the website to the students.
Oh, mashallah. Jazakallah khair for offering this to the community. So if you can tell us, the information will be on the screen as well to tell our viewer, where can we access more information about Quran Journey?
Yeah, so just go www.quranjourney.tv. Inshallah, the sister will put it on. Just check it out. You can go to the About, browse through the course option. Inshallah, the information is all there. But just briefly speaking, there are 4 phases to Quran Journey. The first phase is going to be basically the understanding of the Quran, then the recitation of the Quran, the memorization of the Quran, and then the implementation of the Quran. And those are simultaneous phases, and all the information is available online, inshallah.
So is it a continuous program, or anybody can enter any time?
So we are going chronologically speaking, but a student can join in at any time. All the information is available, all the videos are already available, all the notes are already available, so you can actually study at your pace. We do the program, physically live at MacMaster University every Sunday at 9 in the morning. We do it at the Information Technology Building, and that is basically 137, the room 137 at the MacMaster University. But all the information is recorded and made available online, so the students can just go online, see the class, download the notes, listen to the videos, and then take the quizzes to ensure that they get the diploma and the ijazah associated with the program.
So, brother, you spoke about how any student can join, and you provided the website information to Quran Journey.
Yeah.
Are there any other programs that you're involved in, and are there any other programs in other cities that you're involved in where people can benefit if they cannot get to McMaster University on a Sunday morning?
Yeah, so alhamdulillah, right now I'm involved in ISNA, so I give a talk at ISNA every Tuesday and sometimes Wednesdays at around basically 9:35, and that's to all the high school students. And I give a talk, alhamdulillah, at Mississauga at Al-Risala School, usually at every Monday at around 1:30 dhuhr time. And I give basically weekly halaqat at the downtown the mountain masjid for the children. So that's a children's halaqa every Wednesday night at around 6:30 p.m. And then there are basically also weekly halaqat. Thursday night there's a youth halaqa at Islamic Society of St. Catherine's at 7 p.m. And then there's a children's halaqa the same day at 6 p.m. at the Islamic Society of St. Catherine's. And then Friday there's a women's halaqa which deals with the fiqh and the matters of sisters, and that takes place at around basically 8 p.m. every Friday night. Saturday there's sometimes there's a Quran journey session at St. Catherine's, and then Sundays the regular Quran journey classes. So every day of the week, I'm giving usually one or two talks, and the rest of the time is dedicated to personal research and the courses that I'm taking also from my personal development, and then counseling sessions and youth discussions and things like that. Yeah.
So how can we as a community support you as a young teacher who is giving so much time, energy, strength, and all the resources that you have available in life to the community and to the children and youth of the community? How can we support you? So for our viewers, please tell us, how can we support our young teachers like you?
My long-term vision is to provide a framework to imams locally, to build imams locally, and to build community leaders. So this is a question that I always ask myself. Number one, we should invest in the education of our teachers. There's a session that's coming up, actually, it's a collaboration with iEra, a great organization, where they basically decided to sponsor 10 imams to go to the UK and to have a training session about atheism. So they're actually paying for the imams to go there for a couple of days, 5 days, and have that course training. And of course, when you bring 10 imams together and you allow the imams to learn from each other, it's wonderful. It's a great opportunity to learn from each other's presence and each other's ideas. So I think communities need to give and invest more resources into imams, invest in their education, because the saying goes, if you educate a woman, you educate a whole community. The same goes for an imam. If you educate an imam, the community benefits a lot. So don't be afraid to invest in your imam. Allow your imam to travel. Sometimes communities have the sense where we need to bind our imam, keep our imam stuck to the masjid 7 days a week, and that's but that's not how it works, right? There's only so much that an imam can say. After a while, just you've already exhausted everything that you know. So invest in your imam, imam's knowledge, invest in imam financially if you can. Support, make sure that the imam projects are endorsed financially so that they can continue to do the work that they do, alhamdulillah.
So when you talk about supporting imams, I have heard that we talk about professional world, engineering, medicine, and all those fields, and we have no problem setting a wage or a standard, salary for those professions. But when it comes to our religious education, we don't have a set standard. Do you think we have a set standard, or we need to talk more about it broadly?
I think first, the concept of being financially independent. If you look at the 7 of the 10 companions that were guaranteed Jannah, 7 of the 10 companions that were guaranteed Jannah, all of them were immensely wealthy. Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Abdurrahman ibn Auf. So 7 of the 10 were people of wealth, and that's why they were able to invest so much into the community. Because when you're able to secure that financial basis, you're able to come back and invest and give your full
Exactly.
self without any insecurities and any limitations. If you look at the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, Allah granted him Khadija, and she was his wealth sponsor, right?
Exactly.
And that was a great contribution. If you look at Imam al-Bukhari, how was he able to travel so much and collect so many hadith? Because there was that financial sponsor, one of his family members, who took care of that. If you look at Imam Abu Hanifa, he was a businessman. If you look at any of the greatest, for the most part, the greatest writers, the greatest movers and shakers in the Islamic history, there's one factor that combines and brings them all together, that there was that financial backing, either from a family member or they themselves were businessmen. And that is really, really important. Abdurrahman ibn Auf, just to put things in perspective, when Abdurrahman ibn Auf passed away, he left 4 million dinars, 4 million golden coins for each of his 4 wives, which was the norm back then. And that, and if you look at, if you do, and that was inheritance. If you look at his entire net worth and put it into modern language, it would be around 25 to 30 billion dollars. We're talking about US dollars, right? That's a huge amount of money. And so when we look at these companions, we assume that they're living in these very limited. That's not the case. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us examples in the Quran of people who've been given, like Dhul Qarnayn, a lot of wealth, and they were able to use that wealth for good. And the Prophet Muhammad says, what a blessing wealth is for a person of sound judgment. So I think we as a community need to come together and invest into our scholars, invest into our outreach projects, but also make sure that the Imams themselves are living humble lives. So they take the resources and invest back into their own success, to feed and benefit the community, not to grow at the expense of the community. So it's both. You need the trust on the Imam's part to be transparent, to empower the community, and you need the community to be supportive as much as possible. Now, to answer your question about the standards, I think every community is different. In Mississauga, people are a little bit more well-off than maybe other communities in the periphery. So maybe the Imams here get paid a little bit better than other locations and other areas. So I don't think it should be that way. I think there should be a standard that is basically available within the entire GTA, so that way an Imam doesn't have to make a decision about going to a place where the community may be well off and let go of a community that may be in need. So I think we need to be able to, and that's where the personal ethics of an Imam comes into question. How much are they going to sacrifice for money, and how much are they going to basically care about the community, and to what levels are they going to sacrifice their own needs and wants. But I think we do need to have that standard. And if we're paying doctors 100,000 plus for being healers of the body, I think healers of the soul and the mind, as long as they're sincere, deserve that initiative and support from the community as well.
All right, I completely agree with you. And with that, I would like to ask about you, with your personal life, family life, you would like to share. Because another funny thing that I have noticed, that people see Imams in shopping malls and those kind of places and say, "Oh, Sheikh, you're here." So they're human beings, they have families, they have errands to run and everything. So tell us more about your family, how is this structured, if you would like to.
So I recently got married, alhamdulillah, almost 3-4 years ago now. And I married, alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed me with, alhamdulillah, a wife that is very supportive. And it's always important to marry someone who's supportive, selfless, committed. So she makes it very easy for me, alhamdulillah, to be engaged and active in the community. And alhamdulillah, we're growing together, investing in each other, and that's really key. As alhamdulillah, right now we have the support of the family as well. Shaikh Ala is my father-in-law. He's made it so easy, alhamdulillah, throughout, and he's investing in us so that we can continue to grow. And I think that's really important. The families themselves need to invest in the Imams, just like the community needs to invest in the Imams. So having a supportive wife, having a supportive family, having a supportive mother, a supportive father makes it easy, and not many people have that. So it's a luxury and a privilege from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have to take into consideration when giving back to the community. So alhamdulillah, it's a big blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Jazakallah khair. We have to wrap up the show, but time is never enough talking to a wonderful brother like you. May Allah bless you for all your efforts for the community. If before closing, if you would like to say anything to our viewers, to our audience, a message, any message you would like to give to them.
Sure. One of the very simple messages that I'd like to give is when the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ arrived in the city after leaving Mecca, he arrived in a city called Yathrib. And Yathrib linguistically means the place of sickness. It was a place of sickness. It wasn't as advanced, as cultured as Mecca. People used to come from everywhere in the world, and trade was booming in Mecca. So they could afford to have a great infrastructure. He left all of that. He left all that luxury and settled in Yathrib. And upon settling in Yathrib, just a few, just time passed quickly, and he had a vision. And prophets have visions, we have dreams. And in the vision, he saw the silhouette of a figure passing and leaving the borders of Yathrib. He interpreted this to be the humma, the fever of Yathrib. There was a fever in Yathrib, and anyone who got it was, very quick to pass away. Like the Prophet Muhammad's mother, she passed away on the way back from Yathrib. The Prophet's father passed away in Yathrib. Many of the family members of the Prophet ﷺ, they passed away in Yathrib. But the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, when he settled in Yathrib, he saw this vision and he interpreted it as the vanishing of the fever, the humma. And then the name of the city was changed from Yathrib to Taba and Tayba, which means the healing, the place of healing, the source of healing. And that in itself is the legacy of Islam. Muslims should be people that wherever they go, their mere presence, their impact is immediately felt. That they go into a place that is broken or not as great, not as morally developed, not as light as we would say, right? And with the light of revelation and through their actions and behaviors, they should leave that legacy and turn that place into a much better place. So I think that to me summarizes the legacy and the mission of the prophets and the mission of people who are messengers of the Messenger ﷺ. That is you and me, right? بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَا آيَةٍ, he says, teach and share about me, even if it's a small little thing, as long as you know it and you know it well. So we need to remember that. Wherever we go, leave a beautiful, positive legacy behind, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair. What a beautiful message. We were talking to Imam Hosam Helal. Jazakallah khair for being on our show.
I'll give you Jannah, my sister. Thank you for having me.
Ameen. Community Rockers will continue presenting you with the best possible Muslim contributions to the society. To the society we all call a live-in. Canada, our beautiful country, and we have to make it better together. From Muslim Canadian Media Network, Farina Siddiqui, Community Rockers, stay tuned for more shows. Assalamualaikum.